Welcome to Prison Wife Radio, where we play all the hits while we all wait in our car for the prison to open its gates, which is actually just really a door, and to welcome us in with open carry arms as they try to decipher which one of us is bringing in the drugs. Spoiler alert, it's the COs. I'm your host, Myra, and if you're out there listening, show some love.
There are more than 2 million individuals incarcerated in the U.S. legal punishment system.
Prison wives are a lot like military wives, without all the thank yous.
I mean, they won't show, right? So we have to tell.
The system is most definitely the villain.
Your loved one shows up to medical unconscious? They ain't telling
He's been down
shit.
for 20 years. Yesterday he told me that his sentence had to be recalculated. Their mistake added 2 years.
There are more than 2 million individuals incarcerated in the U.S. legal punishment system. This is the story of the people who love them, involved.
235 days until my husband comes home. He got out of the hole, not out. And you might be thinking, wow, that seems like a short time to be in the hole. And you're right. Because the hole is not the thing you've been conditioned to believe it is through movies and shows and cops. You probably think the hole is where they put individuals who stab somebody on the yard or assault a cop. Breaking in to clear up some listener confusion. At Justintuitive asked me why I refer to cops if he is in prison. I was shocked, honestly, that anybody but my parking lot Carhartt is listening to this, and I appreciate questions. So, just intuitive. We call everybody cops. You might refer to them as correctional officers, but there is nothing correctional in their nature. I promise. They're cops. Anybody who works in a prison is a cop. Well, okay, incarcerated individuals hold the most jobs in prison, so they don't count. They aren't cops, but some of them act like they are, but that's a story for a different day. Anyways, anybody working in a prison is a cop. Most of the time, people are going to the hole because cops are investigating something. Some informant rats on somebody, or somebody's worried about having to pay back some money, so they'll send a kite to I&I.
Incidents and investigations, yeah. They think that they're the CIA.
When they're not playing Call of Duty, you can find them making up elaborate sting operations to destroy people's lives using the lies they've been told by their informants, who have a lot of incentive to tell them whatever they want to hear. Going to the hole is extremely disruptive. They shackle you. Then they pack up your shit, usually, because even if you get out soon, you don't go back to your house. You have to move into temporary housing 4 to a cell and wait for another house to open. So this time they took him for 4 days, conveniently timed for a weekend. So no visits while I investigated the issue. Seems that somebody showed up here on a chain bus Thursday, saw my husband in the yard, and checked in. Okay, I know I'm going to get some questions on this. Checked in means that you fear for your safety. So you basically put yourself in the hole. You go to a cop and tell them you're scared or something, and then they put you in the hole. It probably means that you showed up on a yard where you fuck some people over and you need to save your own ass. In my husband's case, it meant that this guy owed him some money. So he checked in, said he's scared of my husband. They investigate, they let him out, because as much as they want to make something stick against my husband, they can't prove that this guy has anything to worry about. everybody owes money in here. Some people take it seriously, and some people, like my husband, know that it's useless trying to collect. So, here I am, 9 days later, waiting outside in the parking lot for them to flip the sign so I can visit my husband again. Here comes the CIINA now. It's the main guy, Murphy, with this little snitch puppy. Cats would never. Every visit we get sniffed by that dog and he never turns up drugs. You should take a whiff of the COs, then he'd probably hit something. Dogs just gladly get up every morning and go to work for cops. Cats would never do some shit like that because, sweet listeners, cats are abolitionists. I got here late today, so I'm going to have to do some speed walking to be able to get a good pole position inside the visiting room. The sign should be flipped by now, and it's not. So I'm guessing there's a delay. They do count just before visiting, and if count is messed up, visiting is on hold. So I get less time with him, but more time with all of you, I suppose. I got his letter today. Do you want me to open it? Of course you do. The Anatomy of a Love Letter, Solitary Confinement Edition. The greeting. Now, this is a personal preference, but my husband and I begin our letters the same way, every single time.
Hey, baby.
My love. The opening. When he writes from the whole, the opening paragraph of the letter needs to do two things. Reassure me that he's okay and explain the circumstances as best as he can in case he isn't able to get phone privilege. Mail takes forever, so by the time I receive this letter, which is now 9 days later, this will be old news or it will be the first I've heard from him in at least a week.
By the time you get this, you will know I am here because I sent word to Trix to have his girl call you. And I'll be able to call you tomorrow morning.
And he's right. Trix's wife called me the night they took him, so my anxiety level dropped. And by the time I received this letter, it's old news. That isn't always the case. Sometimes if they put him on phone restriction and he isn't able to send word with somebody, I'll spend at least a week not knowing what happened to him. He's just disappeared by the DOC. He lets me know his routine. He'll have AM yard time, which is just him in an oversized dog kennel that he helped build, by the way. Feeling the sun, if it's out, and calling me on a shittier than normal prison shitty phone. What you have to understand about the whole is that it's the prison's prison, so everything in it is a shittier version of the shit the prison gets.
They came and got me this morning just before a visit. Cops wouldn't tell me shit.
His love letters from the whole have to do so much more work than a usual love letter. Of course, some things are always standard. We always talk about what we want to do to each other's bodies when we're finally able to be in a room together without restrictions. Actually, I imagine love letters for most couples are generally the same as our non-whole love letters. Catching up on news, pledging their undying love for one another, and then thinking of creative ways to say, I want to fuck you. I guess they don't have to be as creative. We have to get past the male cops. Nothing too explicit. So, no words like fuck, sex, and whatever the male cop is feeling like on that particular day. How much do they want to enforce policy? I mean, most couples don't have a cop reading their letters before they go out. They aren't worried that somebody will deny the letter for explicit material or just toss it and act like they never saw it. So, what do we say when we want to say, I want to fuck you? We have to say,
I feel the weight of your thigh on my shoulder as you grip the back of my head in your hands.
we're basically romance novelists. So, yes, we do all that. But also, love letters from the hole need to establish a timeline and gather evidence. In case. Just in cases, we say together. Just in cases, we say to each other, like that sweet moment in Love Actually. I love that film. I don't care what anybody says. Don't at me. But when we joke just in cases to each other, we know there is a very dark meaning behind it, because what we mean is just in cases he's killed, as many incarcerated people have been. And the DOC tries to say he died by suicide. Just in cases he's beaten severely. Just in cases, well, there are just so many scenarios all out of our control. We just focus on gathering the details. And he knows that the details, as horrific and terrorizing as they are, help to put my mind at ease, because if we, the loved ones, don't have any details, we'll fill them in for ourselves. It's a specific kind of torture, knowing the person you love most in the world is in the hands of people who don't think he's human. So he describes it all to me. They take him away in shackles. A cop comes in to pack up his shit. Imagine your worst enemy packing up your house while you're away. Everything that is precious to you, handled by people who loathe you. Do you think you'll get all your stuff back? Do you think that that letter you received from your wife, the one that is the most precious to you because it was the first letter she ever sent you, do you think that's going to be waiting for you when you get back? So this next part of the letter fills in the details. After they get him, he's put in the cell that could be his home for a week or a year. Who knows? At this point, he doesn't. So to keep himself mentally well, he gets on his routine. My husband has been down for 18 years. He's done about 5 years of that time in the hole. Sometimes the stints are a few days. Sometimes they are a year and a half. The routine keeps him sane, mostly. Like he says, everyone loses their shit in the hole. But if he can keep to the routine, he has a better chance of staying mentally healthy-ish. The routine goes, wake up at 7. Side note, this supposes that he wakes up from sleep. But as the fucks at the DOC think it's cool to keep people in the hole under 24/7 fluorescent lights, it's nearly impossible to actually sleep when you are in the hole. So he gets up from bed at 7 is more like it. Eats breakfast, which consists of a breakfast boat, 2 pieces of bread, a frozen peanut butter packet, a frozen jelly packet. He's got to warm them up in his hands. A powdered milk packet, and then a small kid's cereal box. All sugar every day. Not enough calories for a 185-pound man made of mostly muscle, but it's all he'll get until lunch. There's no commissary allowed in the hole, so he won't get any extra calories. He'll take a bird bath because he's only able to shower 3 times a week. He'll work out, read, lunch. Lunch is a sandwich, an apple, and like some kind of a potato salad, macaroni salad, disgusting thing. After lunch, he'll write a letter, then he reads again, then it's dinner. He'll work out again, and by 7, he is starving. So it's a catch-22 because working out makes you hungry, but not working out can make you lose your mind. So at night, he'll exchange kites with people on the floor if he knows anyone. He'll play chess with somebody or assign a conversation to somebody on the floor. I mean, and when I say he's playing chess with someone, he's yelling moves that he's making a chessboard out of paper in his own cell and then yelling moves to somebody else down the hall. They're not actually interacting with each other face to face. The third part of the letter, he asks questions about what is going on with me, what is happening in the world, telling me he loves me, he's sorry, and this will not be forever, and to not worry about him. As if I could ever stop worrying. The worry is constant. The worry consumes me, and then I cry because at this point, all I can think is, there are so many people in cages treated this way, treated like garbage, and one of those people is the person that I love the most in this world. He signs the letter the same, always. Always yours. P.S. I promise, because Tracy Chapman's The Promise is our song, for obvious reasons. Despite what you see on TV and in terrible shows written by people who talk to cops about what happens in prison, a lot of times the whole is basically a babysitter while they figure out what to do with you. And in the meantime, he loses his house. He loses most of his privileges. He loses yard time, loses weight, loses contact with his loved ones, and loses touch with time. It's torture. There is no justification. Solitary confinement is torture. The end. We'll be back after a word from our sponsor.
Do you enjoy long walks in the street calling for the dismantling of the prison's industrial complex? Does your idea of a great date night include showing up to a city council meeting to offer public comment against the building of a new jail? Are you tired of wasting first dates on people who are socially liberal but fiscally conservative and just think that police are necessary and just need some more training? Sign up for Ideal Date. We help you find burning love with a person or persons who share your ideals about burning it all down. Find love in the time of mass incarceration with Ideal Date. Sign up now at idealdate.com.
Listeners, let's play a little game while we wait for these cops to get their shit together and open visiting. I'm going to make a statement, and you tell me which type of wife I'm talking about. Military wife or prison wife? Ready? Our loved ones disappear without warning. We don't know when or if they'll be able to call. We receive letters that are censored because they need to keep certain things from us as to not get into trouble with the people who control their life. Our loved ones have to obey, never question, and stifle all emotion, so when they come home, they are emotionally cut off individuals who suffer in silence. Our loved ones come home with PTSD, night sweats, night terrors, they suppress emotion, and are often triggered sensorily. Did you guess both on all statements? Because if so, you're a winner. Like I said, prison wives are a lot like military wives, without all the thank yous. The way we're unlike military spouses is that if my husband ends up dead, nobody is telling me shit until they get around to it. And they sure as hell aren't draping a flag over his coffin. Actually, that's wrong, because they do have a whole veterans unit here in the prison. They get up every morning to salute the flag while the country they sacrificed life and limbs for treats them like garbage. But I am pretty sure they still get a flag when they die. Maybe. Also, nobody looks at the military spouse strange for marrying somebody who willingly signed up to go invade and occupy countries, murder men, women, and children, but everyone looks at you sideways when you're a prison wife. Update on the delayed visiting situation. We now have a lady out of her car walking up to the door to see what's going on. Based on what you learned last week, do you think A, the cops are going to tell her what's going on? Or B, the cops are going to tell her to get back to her car and give her nothing. I just want to get inside, which is a whole other world you have to navigate. The parking lot has rules and tactics, and so does the visiting intake room. Which reminds me, I never finished telling you about the little maniacs and their coatless bodies last week. Okay, so after we do the whole herd of the relentless thing toward the door, we all squeeze into the visiting intake room. Here, it's like a mad dash to put your things in a locker. The locker is 1 by 1 by 1. So basically like 1 foot all the way around. So there's room for a mid-sized purse, keys, maybe a light coat. You see where I'm going with this? For a lot of parents, they just can't give the kid a coat because they wouldn't be able to fit it in the locker. And if you have multiple littles, forget it. And the sign is flipped and we're off. Let's go on a field trip. Johnson is working today, which means 2 things. 1, the processing in will be really slow. She's been doing this a long time, which means she knows what she's doing when it takes her 10 minutes to process 1 person.
I drove 400 miles, and I was told that my special visit was approved.
Not my problem. Not in the system. Next.
2, she will cancel visits. She doesn't give one single fuck how far you came for your visit. Before you place your things in the locker, you have to put money on your key card. This is the key that allows you to buy food and drinks for your loved one from the vending machines inside. If you're a pro, you know to load the key on your way out. But if you're new and you don't know any of this, you're overwhelmed with people pushing, maneuvering for line positions, so people save spaces in line. People argue about whether that's fair. People make decisions about whether to help people that are struggling based on whether somebody will hold their place in line.
Does anybody have a quarter?
Oh, and you need a quarter to use the lockers. Some of this info is on the DOC website, but by the time people get here, they're so overwhelmed for obvious reasons. They're visiting people they love in this horrible place, so you'd think they'd be forgiven for forgetting some of the helpful info DOC posts on their archaic, outdated website.
Oh my gosh. You are a lifesaver. Thank you so much. I am so thankful. Thank you.
Go back inside, get back in line in front of Brianna. Brianna is wearing a maroon turtleneck. I know this is all really new and overwhelming, so I want you to show up to our meeting Thursday night. Just a few of us get together and we talk about things like this, and I really think it will be good for you.
Okay.
And no 3-inch heels, ever. Do you think you're gonna shank them? 2 inches the max allowed, so your shank is less dangerous.
Okay, got it. I will. Thank you.
And stop crying. Seriously, you have to stop crying.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you so much.
Myra.
Thank you so much, Myra.
Well, listeners, as much as I wanted to get in there and see him, and I actually really got a good position in line, I just can't leave anybody to fend for themselves in there. That newbie, Tads, was lost from the moment she walked in with her 2 high heels. See, if you get in line and the snitch puppy doesn't alert to you, and you have all your shit together with the key card, you still have one more hurdle: the metal detector. They're looking for 2 things: weapons and titties. If you have boobs, you can basically wear a turtleneck. Newbie, Tads, is brand new. She came in wearing this beautiful dress and high heels, and as she blurted out to me after the cops told her she couldn't come in,
This was supposed to be the first time I was going to see my husband in almost 2 years.
they measure your heels, and if they're more than 2 inches, you can't wear them in. This has nothing to do with safety. This is just about policing the loved ones. Policing of women's bodies, which is something this country starts when we're in elementary school. The real bullshit is when you get stopped for a shirt you wore the week before with no problem. You can't wear a bra with an underwire, searched. Can't wear bobby pins, or Robert pins, or even Bobby Jr. pins, for that matter. You have to take them out. If you don't have a shirt, they'll give you this ugly, supersized shirt. You don't have shoes, they'll make you wear shower shoes. Could they be helpful? Yes. Do they want to be? No. They want you to look like a disheveled mess when you get back there. Which is why I always keep about 3 pairs in my car. 7, 8s, and 9s, simple ballet flats. Brianna keeps 10s, 11s, and 12s, and Malia keeps a closet in her trunk. Because these motherfuckers want you to go in there looking like a mess. But as you learned in last week's episode, we take care of each other. So even though I want to see my husband more than anything, I have to help the newbie. And the family will take care of the newbie. The family is my lifeline. It's the group. We meet every Thursday night. It's ritual and ceremony and sustaining. Their stories are not my stories to tell, but I will say this: Brianna, Sophia, Malia, Bill, they sustain me, uplift me, and keep me focused on what needs to happen. And they always, always, always have my back. Okay, I am going to go back in now, get past Johnson, get past the snitch puppy, get past the metal detector, and give my husband a short hug and an even shorter kiss because, law and order. And then hold his hand and buy him some food and watch him eat and just know that we're the lucky ones. Because he will be coming home. 19 years is a fuck ton of time. But it's not forever. Tune in next week where I'll let you know how being a prison wife is like being famous, or more like infamous, and fill you in on why the prison has to spend a bunch of money on bottled water. As always, you're welcome, and I've been great.